career on Wall Street is a marathon, not a sprint. What I mean by that is that of the 30 years you will work in Wall Street, 80% of your income is going to come in the last 5 or 7 of those 30 years. So clearly you're building up to something. To do that well, you need to look good, you need to have good health. And I don't mean health from the vantage point of living a long life. I don't care. You don't want to live long, fine. But if you want to succeed on Wall Street, you need to have good health, you need to look good, you need to wear good clothes. Hi, this is Finance Dad. I have had a career on Wall Street for 25 plus years. I've worked at a bank, I've worked at a hedge fund. I currently own my own hedge fund. And in today's episode, we will talk about all things health, especially from a male vantage point, because that's the vantage point I have, but some of it can be applicable to females as well. But to be specific, in today's episode, we're talking about male health with the vantage point of a Wall Street professional. To start with, let me tell you, I had horrible 20s on Wall Street. I didn't know how to deal with the stress, how to deal with the pressure, the environment of a trading floor, which looks like at that time used to look like a football field with people sitting next to each other and competing with each other on every little thing like mathematics or economics or trade pricing or sales or distribution. It was very daunting, and I dealt with it through comfort food. I would have a bagel, I would have cream cheese, I would have a Coke, I would have sugary drinks. We didn't have the advantage of social media, so often you couldn't just search for it, and it was certainly not jumping at you from every point on how bad sugary drinks are, how bad this food is, the way it does today. No excuses. I could have found books, I could have done other things. I'm just telling you I did not. So the 20s were very stressful, especially from the vantage point of food, and I gained tons of weight and I became unhealthy, and I realized that people at work looked at me differently. They saw me as someone indisciplined, someone who did not respect the clients, who did not respect that job. And how did I change that? I took it upon myself to change that in my 30s. And I found there's one easy way that everybody talks about, which is one of calorie deficit, right? Eat a fixed number of calories during the day, and automatically your body needs calories X. You're deficiting the body by 200 less calories a day. It'll automatically show up in weight loss. It'll already show up in health. I found that really hard to do. You know why? Because even the littlest thing that you eat, like a salad or like this idea of snacking, some fruits, some this, some that, everything in New York and in America has sugar in it. Everything is laden with sugar in it. It is really, really, really hard to eat healthy. You know it better than I do. You've dealt with it all your life. And you know what? If you're 40 plus and it hasn't happened, it probably will not happen, because you will find a way to have that wine, which by the way is laden with sugar. You will find a way to have that beer. Even if you control the amount you're drinking, you find yourself not being able to deal with that calorie deficit. For me, what worked is what I call intermittent fasting. It's now a very well-known phenomena all over the country, where you eat a controlled number of hours in a day. Managing it with the Wall Street job is actually very, very easy as well, because your hours are so intense from early morning to late afternoon or early evening that you can't even keep track of those hours. And if the lunch hour passes you by and the breakfast, you know how they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day? It's a lie. It's the worst meal of the day. Your body just got waking up, absorbing all the food that you had in the evening, and you're laden it with sugar already, early morning hours. What is the body going to do? It's going to go after glucose. It's the easiest form of energy that the body can find. It's not going to break other forms of energy. It's going to break glucose. And before that glucose is broken up, you've had a lunch. Before that lunch is broken up, you're having a dinner already. To me, that did not work. Why does intermittent fasting work, especially for a Wall Street professional? Because the hours are intense. Before you know it, the day passes by. And if all you've had in that period is water, tons and tons of water, it's important to hydrate yourself, and coffee to keep your heart rate elevated, then by the time 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. arrives, you can have anything you want. Think about it. For 4 hours, there is no limitation to what you can have. Now, of course, if you had too many carbs in those 4 hours, it'll be hard to maintain that intermittent fasting the next day. So if you focus on a protein-based diet in those 4 hours, I'm a huge fan of steak and all things non-vegetarian, so I find myself naturally gravitating towards fatty food coming out of protein-based diet of that kind. But if you're a vegetarian, there are plenty of options there as well. But think about how liberating the idea is. You know what? For 4 hours, starting now, go crazy. Eat like a pig. Eat like a glutton. You can't eat more than a certain amount in 4 hours. You know it and I know it. Before your energy runs out, before you can eat, sooner or later you will run out of any room in your stomach to eat, and your eating hours will be over. That's why it works, because in controlling the number of hours when you eat, you automatically control the calories that you eat. And your body now knows there's a big difference between starvation and intermittent fasting. You don't want your body to think you're starving. You want your body to think like you're a caveman. You're going to hunt all night, or you're going to hunt all day at your work and eat in the evening and then party all night. In fact, Indian religious saints, or the Indian religious sadhus, so-called in India, even today eat once a day. Sadhguru, who is someone I follow, he eats once a day and talks about it, how intermittent fasting has become a big deal today, but he's been doing it for 30 years of his life. And look at how good he looks. My point to you is that it's a perfect complement to a Wall Street career. Why is it important? It's important because, trust me, it's going to impact your job. The way you look is extremely important to any kind of job that you may have on Wall Street. It represents discipline. It represents respect for your job. It represents your clothes will fit better. You will want to wear well. And you know what? It'll just make difference to your social life at work in a way you can't even imagine. People want to hang out with you. People want to talk about how good you look. And I'm not talking about looking like Brad Pitt. I'm feeling like Brad Pitt, feeling that you're in control of your body and in control of your time at work in a physical way. Of course, working out is important, right? I haven't talked about it yet, but I will. For me, working out and taking a jog through the park 45 minutes a day, 3 or 4 times a week, it's a joke. It does nothing. At even speed, if you're working out, if you're running for 45 minutes, listening to music and coming back home and then having a drink, you've just done nothing. You've spent 45 minutes doing nothing, and now you're wasting your time drinking those calories back that you haven't even spent yet. So what do I mean by that? It really doesn't elevate your heart. It doesn't really do anything. It's like the biggest bad conception that people have, that you can run around the park, listen to that music, feel good about your day, and look like you've done or worked something. Yes, of course, if you walk for several miles a day, do it every day, some of it can make an impact. You're not going to have that kind of time. You're a Wall Street professional. Most of your time is spoken for. So walking for several miles like a marathon runner would, or someone training for a marathon would, is not practical for you. So what are you supposed to do? Get that trainer. Spend that money on that trainer. She will do 2 things that are really important to work out. One thing, she will keep you honest to that workout. So even if it's twice or thrice a week, she will call you and you have to show up. That makes a big difference. You don't want to get a trainer? Join an organized workout place like Barry's or Orange Theory, any one of them that exist all over New York and all over America. The advantage of it, it's fun to work out in a group. When you see younger people or other people keeping up with each one of them in a cardio or a strength routine, you will want to keep up with it as well. And you know what you will not do? You will not show up for that workout in shorts that are torn from 10 years ago. You will go out there and buy that more expensive shorts because you don't want to embarrass yourself. Looking good in a workout, you have no idea how motivating it is. It is motivating for me. Go to Lululemon, get that new pairs of shorts that fits you well. It'll motivate you to work out longer, to work out consistently, to eat that. And you know what? After you've worked out at 4 p.m. and you come back and eat like a pig, that intermittent fasting hours, you have no idea how satisfying that meal will be. You'll feel like $1 million, and it'll immediately have an impact on your Wall Street career, which is high stress and high pressure to start with. I have talked about dressing up. I talked about dressing up at a gym or at a workout. But dressing up is important everywhere. As a man in particular, I know you may think that women take so much time to dress up and maintain themselves and create a certain image around themselves. It is equally important for a man. Have you ever seen a poorly presented CEO of a Wall Street firm or a managing director of a Wall Street firm? They spend the time to get that haircut, to get that clean skin, to get that pants and jackets that fit to your body, not off the rack, but actually tailored to your body. Spend the money on it. Again, it's part and parcel of the same thing. It's part and parcel of eating well. It's part and parcel of working out, and it's part and parcel of promotions. People want to identify themselves with winners, people who will look for the job that they're dressing up for, not the job that they currently have. Again, I know it's a cliche. You must have heard that a million times, but no harm saying it again, because that's the reality. You want to look well, feel strong, and think of it as like a long-term marathon, right? 30 years is a long time. And if only 5 or 10 years have passed by and you're already feeling tired, that's not a great sign, because younger people will come and eat you for lunch. You want to show them who the daddy is. And how do you do that? By eating well, working out, and staying healthy. Of course, I can guide you at an intimate level. You have a box below you. Reach out to me. I'm happy to consult about how to regiment your routine for intermittent fasting, and for your particular case, how to work out, and so on and so forth. I offer a consulting hour exactly for that. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I want to grow my podcast. See you next week.